When I first started working remotely, it felt like I'd found a life hack. Seriously. My morning commute was, a 10-second walk from my bedroom to my desk?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and lunch breaks were just quick trips to my own fridge. So easy. I remember this one day, I was really deep into this new routine, feeling incredibly productive. Like I'd been glued to my chair for hours, just crushing my to-do list.
Getting stuff done, right?
Totally. But then, as the sun went down, I finally stood up. And oh man, this deep, unfamiliar ache just shot through my lower back. My legs felt stiff, almost alien. So I glanced at my fitness tracker, just out of curiosity. It hadn't even crossed 500 steps for the entire day.
Wow, 500.
I had basically lived in that single chair.
Yeah.
And it just hit me, this freedom of remote work. It had this hidden cost. I hadn't just eliminated my commute. I'd pretty much eliminated almost all movement from my life.
Yeah.
That freedom was slowly, quietly locking me into this sedentary trap that my body was just starting to scream about.
That's such a vivid picture. And it's a common realization, I think.
That moment for me, it was a stark revelation, a real aha moment about the true, often hidden health costs of remote work. And that's exactly our mission today here on The Deep Dive. We are about to unpack some really compelling stuff, looking at research, real-world stories, to really explore how working from home impacts our physical and mental well-being.
Both sides of the coin.
Exactly. We'll look at everything from, the alarming rise of just sitting around, those nagging aches and pains, musculoskeletal issues.
With physical stuff.
Right. And then the often unseen struggles like isolation and burnout. But we're not just here to list the problems.
No, solutions are key.
Definitely. We're going to dive deep into evidence-based strategies, everything from big corporate wellness ideas and ergonomic support.
The company side?
Right down to the surprisingly actionable, even kind of fun steps you can take yourself. All designed to, mitigate these risks and maybe even boost your cognitive resilience, your productivity. Think of it like a blueprint for thriving, not just surviving, in this remote work world.
What's really fascinating here is how something that felt like such a clear win, getting rid of the commute, can actually become this subtle, almost sneaky threat to our health. It's a fundamental shift in our daily movement patterns, one that many of us just didn't see coming.
Until our backs start talking, right?
Exactly. Until the body protests. It's that paradox, modern convenience clashing with our ancient biology that expects movement.
It really is. The silent erosion of activity we didn't even realize we were losing. Let's start right there with what we're calling the silent stalker, the sedentary trap of remote work. I mean, we all feel like we're sitting more, but is there hard data? Is there objective evidence, or is it just us kind of collectively feeling sluggish?
That's a great question. And the unsettling data on inactivity is quite clear and frankly pretty alarming. We're definitely not just talking about feelings.
Yeah.
There was this recent Finnish study, Leskinen and colleagues, published in 2025. They tackled this head-on. They used accelerometers.
Oh, like sophisticated fitness trackers.
Exactly, but even more precise. Usually worn on the wrist, they objectively track physical activity and sedentary time, minute by minute. It gets rid of all the guesswork, the self-reporting bias.
Right, no more, I think I moved around a bit.
None of that, just concrete data.
Okay.
And they looked at a whole range of work modes. Manual laborers, traditional in-office folks, hybrid workers, and the fully remote crowd.
So a really comprehensive comparison. What did those accelerometers spill? What's the sedentary signature of remote work?
They revealed a really profound and honestly concerning signature for remote and hybrid workers, especially during work hours. The study found these groups pile up significantly more occupational sedentary time.
During the workday itself?
Yes. A staggering 1 to 2 hours more per workday compared to manual workers, and even compared to traditional in-office colleagues.
1 to 2 hours every day? Every
single workday. Imagine adding that much motionless sitting 5 days a week. Over a year, that's hundreds, literally hundreds of extra sedentary hours. It's a massive shift in daily energy expenditure. Not just feeling stiff, it's profound.
That is huge. It really adds up.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about hybrid workers? You'd think going into the office some days might balance it out a bit, right? Give you a natural break from the chair. Is there a hybrid paradox happening?
It absolutely is a paradox, because even for the hybrid workers, on the days they worked from home, they still tended to add an average of 26 minutes more occupational sedentary time compared to their office days.
26 minutes more just on those remote days.
Yeah. So while the office days might offer a bit of a reprieve, maybe some extra steps,
right,
the remote days still pulled them deeper into that sedentary pattern. It's like the home environment itself encourages this default mode of sitting that's just hard to break.
So it's not just full-time remote work that's the issue. It's any day spent working in that home setup.
That's what it suggests. The challenge is inherent in the environment, it seems.
At 26 minutes, day after day.
Yeah, it paints a clear picture. I'm picturing these daily activity graphs now. How do the different worker types look over a whole day? Is there a pattern like peaks and valleys of movement? The study actually included a visual representation, like an activity fingerprint for each group. It's really insightful. Manual workers, as you'd guess, show high activity early on, stay pretty active all day, then taper off.
Makes sense.
But in stark contrast, the in-office, hybrid, and remote workers, they start the day with very low activity.
Okay.
Now, in-office workers see their levels rise somewhat naturally during the day, walking around the office, meetings.
Little bits of movement.
Right. But the hybrid and remote workers, their activity only really picks up more notably in the afternoon. And here's the kicker.
Uh-oh.
They often don't even match the activity levels of the in-office folks until much later in the evening. Sometimes not at all on an average workday.
Wow. So all that incidental movement, walking to the printer, chatting at someone's desk, grabbing coffee, it's just gone for remote workers.
It illustrates just how much of that is missing. Yeah, all those little things add up without us even thinking about it.
And I think I know a big reason why, because it loops right back to my own story at the start. It's the missing commute, isn't it? That forced movement, morning and night, just vanished.
Precisely. The study strongly speculates that this is a key factor. While they couldn't isolate active commuting time perfectly,
Right.
the lack of any commute, active or not, removes a huge chunk of built-in activity for many people. Walking, cycling, even just the walk from the parking lot or bus stop.
It adds up.
It really does. It's a built-in health benefit that just evaporates when your commute is 10 seconds down the hall. But like you said, it's not just the commute, it's also walking to get lunch, walking to meetings, popping over to ask a question, all gone.
And when all that just disappears, what does this prolonged sitting, this overall drop in activity, actually do to our bodies long term? What's the bigger physical toll beyond a stiff back?
This is where it gets really serious, the broader physical toll. When we talk about hours and hours of extra sitting day after day, we're looking at major public health concerns.
Like what specifically?
Well, there's a well-established link to a higher prevalence of chronic, non-communicable diseases. Things like obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular issues, heart disease, high blood pressure.
The big ones.
The really big ones. But it also significantly contributes to a rise in musculoskeletal disorders, conditions affecting your muscles, bones, joints. Think chronic back pain, neck pain, repetitive strain injuries.
So not just minor aches, but potentially debilitating stuff.
Exactly. These aren't things that just fade away. They can lead to chronic pain, reduced mobility, long-term health problems that seriously impact quality of life, even how long you live. Our bodies just aren't designed for this level of inactivity.
That's sobering. It's not just individual discomfort. It's a potential population-level health risk emerging from this shift. Are there any real-world examples, studies showing this toll on actual remote workers?
Unfortunately, yes. And they paint a very clear, sometimes painful picture. There was a compelling study on remote workers in Lagos, Nigeria. It really highlighted these tangible consequences.
Okay, what did they find in Lagos?
The statistics are quite shocking, honestly. A staggering 90.5% of the remote workers in that study experienced lower back pain.
90%.
Wow.
That's nearly everyone.
It's almost universal in that group, yeah. And it didn't stop there. 85.7% reported upper back pain, think neck, shoulders, likely from posture.
Hunched over laptops.
Probably. And almost half, 47.1%, experienced eye pain or strain. Direct result of screen time without breaks, improper setup.
Wow. Those numbers are just awful. Widespread systemic issues.
Oh, exactly. Not isolated incidents. It suggests a lot of preventable suffering.
That level of pain day in, day out, it must hammer productivity, focus, just general well-being. Did the Lagos study give any clues why it was so bad there, beyond just they worked remotely?
Yes, and this is critical. A major finding was a significant knowledge gap. A large percentage of these workers had poor knowledge of ergonomics.
Ergonomics basically fitting the work environment to the person, not the other way around.
Precisely. Designing the workspace for comfort, safety, efficiency. This poor knowledge indicates a clear, urgent need for education and support, helping people understand how to set up their home offices properly to prevent this kind of widespread pain.
So the really shocking thing isn't just the pain, it's that maybe a lot of it could be avoided with the right setup and knowledge.
That's the takeaway. Widespread suffering stemming potentially from a neglect of basic ergonomic principles when everyone shifted home. It's like ignorance isn't bliss here. Ignorance is debilitating widespread pain.
It's an indictment, really, of how unprepared many setups were. It's not just about steps, it's how you sit, screen height, all of it.
Yeah.
Crucial insight.
Okay, let's shift gears. Moving from the physical toll to the often hidden stuff, the invisible strain, mental health challenges, and burnout. Remote work gets pitched as this productivity paradise, right? But it sounds like there's a darker side.
Oh, it's absolutely a double-edged sword, a classic case of unintended consequences playing out. While it might feel like a productivity boost initially, fewer interruptions maybe.
Right, deep focus time. Point 184 and Company highlighted how it can quickly devolve into a marathon of physical and emotional exhaustion, the core issue. The lack of physical separation, no office to leave, no commute to decompress, it makes it incredibly hard to mentally switch off.
I've definitely felt that. The laptop's just there.
Yeah.
On the dining table, maybe the bedside table, always tempting you to check one more email, finish one more thing.
Exactly. It creates this relentless, always-on culture. Work bleeds into personal time, boundaries blur. This leads to extended work hours, less personal time, and that continuous cognitive load. It's a recipe for burnout.
You might be physically home, but you're never really off work in your head.
Precisely. It leads to decision fatigue, that constant low-level anxiety about what's coming next, feeling tethered. Utterly draining.
And what about connection? Or the lack of it? That's something I really miss sometimes, those casual office interactions.
Yeah.
How does that isolation play into our mental state?
That's the loneliness factor, and it's a major, often underestimated contributor to mental health issues when working remotely.
Yeah.
You miss out on all those spontaneous social moments, the water cooler chat, the quick desk question, bumping into someone in the kitchen. These aren't just trivial things.
No, they feel important.
They are. For informal brainstorming, emotional support, just building that sense of team camaraderie. The absence of these micro-interactions can lead to profound feelings of loneliness, emotional exhaustion, anxiety, even depression.
Is there data on this stress?
There is. A 2022 Mental Health America report found that a huge 81% of workers said job stress negatively impacts their mental health. It's a silent epidemic almost. The social deprivation hits our neurobiology. Things like cortisol levels rise, oxytocin, which helps with bonding and stress, might decrease.
81%. That's not just chilling, it's a massive red flag. So, okay, remote work clearly brings these significant mental and emotional strains. How do we fight back? How do we build resilience in ourselves and our teams?
That's where understanding and actively building resilience comes in. Psychological resilience. It's basically the ability to cope mentally and emotionally with a crisis or ongoing stress.
Bouncing back.
More than that, actually. It's about returning to how you were before quickly, but also potentially rebounding as a stronger, more resourceful person, learning from it. Bouncing forward, not just back.
I like that, bouncing forward. So what does a resilient person look like? Are there specific traits or characteristic things we can cultivate?
Research consistently points to a few key things. Good self-esteem is foundational believing in your own worth. Strong planning skills help you anticipate and strategize.
Being proactive.
Exactly. Optimism, viewing challenges as temporary, solvable. A high sense of self-efficacy, which is that core belief you can succeed and achieve goals, that really empowers action.
Believing you can handle it.
Yes. And finally, strong problem-solving skills. Navigating complexity, maintaining positive emotions, recovering effectively from setbacks. These traits help people adapt and thrive, not just endure.
So a mix of internal beliefs and practical skills. But you mentioned connection earlier, social support.
Yeah.
How big a role does that play in resilience? Is it mainly individual, or do others matter a lot?
Oh, it's absolutely crucial. Arguably as important as any individual trait, the power of connection just cannot be overstated.
Really?
Definitely. Social support is almost foundational for developing resilience. And this isn't just a nice idea, it's backed by solid research, even military studies.
Under extreme stress.
Exactly. They consistently show peer support and group cohesion are strong predictors of combat resiliency. Units with strong bonds have fewer psychological breakdowns, higher rates of post-traumatic growth.
Wow.
It highlights this universal human need for connection, for shared experience, for mutual support when coping with stress. Doesn't matter if it's a battlefield or a home office, even when we're physically alone, we need that connection.
That makes total sense. We're social animals, fundamentally. So if support is vital, and we know the physical and mental strains, what can employers actually do? Let's talk corporate cavalry. Employer initiatives for well-being. Where does their responsibility start and end when people are working from, their kitchen table?
Well, the fundamental principle is pretty clear. The employer's responsibility for safety and health doesn't just stop at the office door. It extends to remote workers wherever they are.
It follows them home.
Essentially, yes. It's a non-negotiable duty of care. Just like they have to ensure a safe office, they have a responsibility for the remote environment too.
So does that mean my employer has to buy me a fancy ergonomic chair if I work from home? Or is it more about, giving advice?
It's often more than just advice. Depending on regulations, yes, employers are generally responsible for providing or ensuring necessary work equipment meets standards. This includes things like computers, screens, keyboards, chairs, desks.
So the actual physical stuff.
Yes. And critically, the guidance often states that ensuring safety and health shouldn't involve financial cost to the employee.
Okay, so if I need a proper chair for health reasons because of my remote work,
the employer should likely cover that cost. It's not about employees footing the bill to use their own, maybe unsuitable furniture. It's about making the remote workspace safe and healthy.
That's a really important point about the cost. It puts the onus back on the organization. Is there a solid business case for this? Beyond just doing the right thing, does it actually pay off for companies to invest in ergonomic support?
Absolutely. It's a compelling business case. Remember that Lego study? 90% lower back pain.
Yeah, hard to forget.
That study also showed a positive link between employer support, better ergonomic compliance, and employees having more ergonomic knowledge.
So support leads to better practices.
Exactly. Investing in ergonomics isn't just an expense line. It's a critical investment in employee health, which directly translates to higher productivity, fewer sick days due to pain, better focus, and ultimately better retention.
Healthy, comfortable workers are more productive workers. Makes sense.
It's a clear win-win. The cost of not doing it in lost productivity, turnover, potential injury claims likely far outweighs the investment in decent chairs and setups.
Okay, so the physical setup is crucial, and it's largely on the employer. What about that invisible strain, the mental health side? How can companies offer holistic support, something beyond just, a mindfulness app subscription?
Yeah, we need to go beyond the Band-Aid solutions. Case IQ outlines some really good, concrete strategies. One simple but powerful one, allowing and actually normalizing mental health days.
Like sick days, but for mental well-being.
Exactly. Just acknowledging that mental health is health, and it's okay to take a day when you're not feeling mentally up to par. It reduces stigma.
That feels like a big cultural shift. What else? What about benefits?
Comprehensive mental health services within the benefits package are key. Things like employee assistance plans, EAPs offering confidential counseling and support, robust coverage for therapy, substance abuse treatment within the health plan.
So actual access to professional help.
Yes. And proactive stuff too, like stress management programs, resilience training, mindfulness workshops, investing in employees' emotional well-being, not just reacting when there's a crisis, showing you care about the whole person.
That really gets to the heart of it. Now, we talked about loneliness, isolation being such big issues. How can employers realistically foster connection when everyone's scattered? You can't force water cooler chat over Zoom, can you?
You can't force it, no, but you can definitely facilitate it. Platforms like Slack and Zoom are essential, obviously, for work, but they should also be encouraged for social stuff.
Like non-work channels.
Yeah, channels for hobbies, pets, weekend plans, whatever. Encourage instant messaging for quick chats, not just formal emails. Video calls help build rapport more than audio only. Acknowledge explicitly that people miss the casual stuff and create space for it.
What about those virtual offices or virtual kitchens I've heard about? Do they actually work, or are they a bit gimmicky?
They can be surprisingly effective, actually. Not gimmicks if done right. A virtual office where people can log in, see who's around, maybe have quick chats. It can recreate some of that ambient presence.
Like sense of togetherness.
Exactly. Or a virtual kitchen for drop-in coffee breaks. It simulates those spontaneous interactions. Virtual team building, online games, trivia can also build bonds. It takes effort, but it can combat isolation.
And the manager's role in all this must be huge. They're the main point of contact.
Absolutely pivotal. Managers need regular video check-ins weekly, monthly, and crucially, these need to be more than just task updates.
Checking in on the person, not just the work.
Yes. Asking, how are you really doing? Managers need training in empathetic listening, spotting signs of distress or burnout changes in behavior, communication patterns. Proactive, human-centered management is key.
Now, this is really interesting. There's actually been research on specific physical activity programs for remote workers, right? Tell us about that Japanese study.
Yes, a fascinating pilot study in Tokyo, an 8-week randomized controlled trial with remote IT workers. They tested a multi-component physical activity intervention.
Multi-component, what did that involve?
It was based on a social ecological model hitting multiple levels. Individual stuff like educational lectures, print materials, goal setting, personalized feedback.
Okay.
Then sociocultural elements fostering a supportive team atmosphere around activity, team building focused on movement, and finally, organizational messages, encouragement from executives showing it was a company priority.
So hitting it from all angles, what about the control group?
They just got general health posters, minimal intervention.
Right. So what happened? Did the fancy program work? And what was this unexpected diffusion thing?
This is the really profound part. There was this unexpected contamination, but in a good way. The control group, the ones who only got posters,
Yeah.
post-study surveys showed they became aware of and even started implementing parts of the main intervention.
Without being told to.
Exactly. For instance, 73% of the control group knew about the supportive atmosphere part, and almost half said they actively tried to foster it in their teams. Same with the executive messages, awareness was high, and some adopted similar positive messaging.
That's incredible. It suggests these ideas can spread organically, even remotely, like a positive virus.
It really does. It shows the power of informal networks, peer influence, just ambient awareness in a connected remote environment. Good practices can spread virally.
So the ideas spread, but did the actual activity levels change for the group getting the full program?
Yes, there were significant gains where it counts. While overall moderate to vigorous activity didn't hugely differ across groups, the intervention group did increase their light physical activity about 14 minutes more a day.
Okay, getting up more often.
And importantly, they increased moderate to vigorous activity specifically on working days by about 9.4 minutes.
So it nudged them during the time they most needed it.
Precisely. It suggests the intervention was feasible and effective at targeting workday inactivity. And crucially, they noted it was likely cost-effective compared to approaches using big financial incentives or fancy equipment.
So a potential template for doing this smartly, leveraging social dynamics and communication, not just throwing money at it.
Exactly. Thoughtful design matters.
Beyond specific programs and equipment, what about the underlying culture? How can employers build that foundation of trust and clarity that really supports remote well-being?
That culture is paramount. It starts with clear expectations, manageable workloads, clear job descriptions, setting SMART goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based.
We all know SMART goals, but maybe they're even more important remotely.
I think so. Less ambiguity means less stress when you're working solo, and regular workload reviews are vital to prevent people getting swamped and burning out.
Just basic good management, really, but amplified. What about monitoring? That's the elephant in the room for many remote workers. Big brother watching every click.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. The research strongly suggests avoiding excessive monitoring. Trusting your workforce is key.
Why? Doesn't monitoring ensure productivity?
It can be deeply counterproductive. It kills morale, erodes trust, ramps up stress because people feel constantly judged. It can lead to disengagement. Focus on outcomes, on the quality of work, not micromanaging activity logs. Trust usually gets better results.
Trust over tracking. Makes sense. And lastly, how can companies actively promote that work-life balance when the lines are just so incredibly blurred?
Encouraging routine and structure helps. Simple things like those daily short YTH meetings yesterday, today help. It gives structure, connection, without being too long.
Quick touch point.
Right. Also promoting clear boundaries, core working hours, discouraging after-hours demands, and regular check-ins specifically about well-being, not just tasks, because needs can change fast remotely. Proactive support is vital.
It's a powerful combo then. Systemic support from employers, physical, mental, cultural, but ultimately a lot comes down to us, right? What we can do.
Yeah.
So let's dive into your personal playbook, empowering individual action. My story showed how easily that sedentary trap snaps shut. How do we break that cycle ourselves?
The power of micro breaks cannot be overstated. It's absolutely critical. Remote workers tend to take fewer, shorter breaks. No visual cues, right?
Like colleagues getting up for coffee.
Yeah, but even just 2 or 3 minutes of movement every hour makes a huge difference. Improves concentration, cuts stress, helps your eyes, your back. These aren't optional. They're biological resets.
And if you're a manager or team lead,
You have to model it. Walk the talk. Take your breaks visibly. Step away, get outside. It normalizes it for everyone, shows it's encouraged, not frowned upon, sends a powerful message.
Okay, I'm ready. Give us some practical, maybe even slightly silly ideas. What can we actually do during the day right there at home to sneak movement in?
All right, let's get practical. Plenty of accessible, no gym required ideas. Let's start with some desk warrior moves. Simple plank holds on the floor.
Planks, okay. How long?
Even 30 seconds, a minute. It makes a difference. Fun fact, the world record is over 8 hours.
8 hours, okay. I feel better about my 30 seconds now.
Exactly, don't compare. Just do what you can. Also, stationary curls. Use a full water bottle, a heavy stapler as a weight. Curl it towards you. Keeps arms active.
Nice. What else?
Shoulder blade pinches. Just pull your shoulders back, squeeze those blades together, hold for 10-15 seconds. Really good for posture. You can even try holding a pencil between them to check the form.
I'm picturing people trying that right now. What about getting the heart rate up quickly? A little energy burst.
Easy one. Run on the spot, 60 seconds. Knees high, pump your arms. Ideally break every 45 minutes, but even a minute of jogging in place gives you a jolt, clears the head.
Okay, now for the really weird one you mentioned. Facial fitness. Are you serious? Exercise my face.
Lawrence, you might laugh, but think about it. We scowl at screens, clench our jaws. Tons of tension builds up in the face and neck without us realizing.
Guilty as charged.
Facial exercises can strengthen muscles, boost circulation, release that tension, which contributes to headaches, stiffness. Try a cheek workout. Press fingertips into the folds by your nose. Smile big against the pressure. Push up with cheek muscles. Hold it.
Okay, feels weird.
It does. Or to tighten neck and jowls. Tongue hard against the roof of your mouth. Look up, smile, swallow. Hold 30 seconds. The tension release is real, even if you look silly doing it.
I'll take your word for it. Forehead. Lips. Complete the set.
Forehead. Frown hard, eyebrows down, hold. Then opposite eyebrows high, eyes wide, surprise, hold. Repeat 5 times. Lips. Head back slightly, pucker up like you're going for a kiss. Push lips forward, hold 10 seconds. Repeat 5 times.
Okay, facial calisthenics, maybe best done with the camera off.
Probably wise, but they work for releasing that built-up tension.
Got it. What if I need a bigger energy boost? Something for endorphins.
Solo dance party. Put on one upbeat song, dance like crazy, gets blood pumping, boosts mood instantly. Impossible to be grumpy while dancing badly.
I like that one.
Or find a 7-minute workout app. Lots are free, no equipment needed, quick, effective, full body blast.
Right, those got popular. What about involving family, if you have kids around?
Absolutely. Do video workouts together. Lots on YouTube, like those Joe Wicks ones people did during lockdown. Great for everyone. Got a trampoline, even a mini one. 15 minutes of bouncing is amazing. Lymphatic drainage, core strength, feels good.
Oh, no.
And don't forget the classic jump rope. Super effective cardio, cheap, do bursts throughout the day, 50 skips here, 100 there.
These are great for inside, but we still need to get out, right? Fresh air. How do we weave that in when home is the hub?
It's about reimagining routines. Drive the kids to school. Try walking instead. Add steps, fresh air, maybe connection time.
Simple swap.
Popping to the shop for milk. Jog instead of walking. Small shifts consistently make a big difference overall.
And walking meetings. I keep hearing about those. Good idea.
Fantastic idea. If it's a call where you don't need your screen, take it walking. Gets you moving, sparks creativity. Remember Nietzsche, all truly great thoughts are conceived by walking.
Huh. Love that.
Yeah.
Is there actual science behind that?
There is. A Stanford study found divergent thinking generating unique ideas improved significantly after walking for 81% of participants. So yes, walk and talks are good for your body and your brain. Great for brainstorming or problem solving.
That's a serious incentive. Okay, so beyond the physical boost, beyond just feeling less stiff, how does all this movement impact our mental state, our cognitive function?
The impact is profound, extending far beyond the physical. Regular exercise is a powerful mood regulator.
How so?
It directly enhances mood, reduces anxiety, improves sleep. Neurochemically, it releases endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, the feel-good stuff. Some research even suggests exercise can have effects similar to antidepressants for some people. It's potent.
Wow. And for remote workers specifically, dealing with that isolation we talked about, does exercise help counteract that mental toll?
Fascinatingly, yes. There's research showing a specific amount of activity needed. It found roughly 349 milligrams of physical activity over an hour, which sounds technical.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's basically equivalent to walking at about 3 miles per hour for an hour. That level of activity was shown to be necessary to counteract the negative effects of social isolation on mood and daily life.
So a brisk walk can literally offset the mood dip from being alone.
That's what the research suggests. It demonstrates exercise as a direct compensatory mechanism. It's a dose of emotional resilience you can literally walk into your day, actively fighting back against the mental drain of isolation.
So good for the body, great for the mood. Does it actually make our brains work better too? Sharper thinking?
Absolutely. Regular exercise is strongly linked to increased productivity, better concentration, improved memory, boosted creativity, all contributing to overall cognitive resilience.
Cognitive resilience, the brain's ability to adapt and perform under pressure.
Exactly. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, releases factors that support brain cell growth, improves neurogenesis. It's a holistic tune-up for your entire system, brain and body.
It really sounds like the key is consistency then. Finding ways to weave this stuff in, making it routine, not just a one-off.
Precisely. Establishing that consistent routine is vital. Using tech trackers, apps can help with progress and accountability, maybe even connecting with others. But most importantly, incorporating those small, frequent bursts of movement throughout the day, that's crucial for reaping all these benefits.
Make movement non-negotiable, part of the remote work structure itself.
Yes. Integrate it. Don't just tack it on as an afterthought.
That's a really powerful message. It feels like we've really covered the spectrum here. From understanding the hidden traps of remote work, the sitting, the isolation, the burnout, to seeing what employers can and should do, and finally, what we can all do ourselves. It's about building a healthier, more balanced way to work remotely. Which brings us perfectly to a final thought for today. The email pinged at 4:32 p.m. Subject: Mandatory Wellness Initiative. Your ergonomic upgrade. I snorted, the sound swallowed by the silence of my apartment. Another box-ticking exercise. For a year, my lower back had been a dull, constant ache, a low-grade static humming beneath the code I wrote. My world had shrunk to the 27 inches of my monitor, my body conforming to the cheap dining chair I'd been using since the temporary work-from-home order in 2020. The company's solution wasn't a lighter workload or fewer meetings. It was a chair. A monstrously expensive mesh and chrome beast that arrived in a box the size of a small refrigerator. Assembling it felt like a final insult. But then I sat down. The lumbar support cradled the exact spot of my pain. The armrests adjusted to take the weight off my shoulders. For the first time in months, I worked for an hour without shifting, without the subconscious need to stretch against a fire that wasn't there. That evening, I stood up from my desk and felt nothing, just the quiet absence of pain. It wasn't a cure for the loneliness or the blurred lines between work and life, but as I touched the cool mesh of the chair, a single startling thought surfaced. They saw a part of my problem, and they sent help. It was a small, corporate, interpersonal gesture, but tonight it felt like relief.